Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to Canine Hub UG. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Guess what? Today we traveled to visit the CTC Conservation Centre. A premier destination for ecotourism and preserving Uganda's precious wildlife. Come and join me as we tour the Conservation Centre. Sir, welcome to Canine Hub UG.
Thank you very much.
Kindly introduce yourself.
My name is Thomas Price. I'm the owner and director of CTC Conservation Centre here in Butambala.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Please tell us what made you start this CTC? Where did you get the idea of the CTC?
Well, it's always been a passion of mine. Since I'm a very young child, I've always enjoyed having animals and being near animals. So I've kept pets ever since I was maybe 5 years old. So it's passion driven. And When I came to Uganda in 1994, I came here mostly because of the wildlife. I've always, like I said, enjoyed being near animals. I started to make friendships, and around 2014 I bought the first plot of land here. And as we added land, the idea came to me that I could make my passion my profession and actually build a facility like this. So it's an ongoing dream which started about 10 years ago.
Okay. Why Uganda?
Well, several reasons. Firstly, the climate in Uganda is perfect. It's never too hot, it's never too cold, especially here where we are on a hill. It's a little bit cooler still than Kampala. So the climate is really perfect for almost any animal from Asia or Australia or South America. They would all do well. So I would say the climate is one of the main factors. And then for familiar reasons, I have friends here, I have family here, so I've been here almost all my life.
Okay, let us talk about the CTC now. What type of animals do you keep here?
We have a big diversity of animals. We have everything from the small chameleons and tortoises up to the lions. But in a nutshell, we have lions, we have hyenas, we have several kinds of wild cats like the serval cats, golden cats, caracal cats. We have bat-eared foxes, we have African wild dogs, we have jackals, crocodiles, tortoises, chameleons, and a lot of animals in between.
Okay. Do you have any dreams of widening to a game reserve?
Well, hopefully the idea would be that it would become a private game reserve in that sense, or a private wildlife reserve, let's say, along that lines. We're planning to add a lot more land. Right now we're at about 56 acres. We hope to reach maybe 200 acres at some point. And by that time it would be along the lines of a private wildlife park.
Okay. We took a visit to we've just taken a visit to the CTC Conservation Centre, and we saw lions and dogs.
Yes.
How did you bring in lions here?
We imported the first 4 lions from South Africa. It was 1 male and 3 females, which we still have up to now. And they have so far produced 22 offspring. So from 4 lions, population has risen up to 26. And by next month, we'll probably surpass 30 lions because at least 2 of the females are pregnant again.
So how do you introduce dogs to lions?
Well, they grew up together. We've had dogs here since I started, so since 10 years. We actually have 1 dog who grew up with the lions because he was born in a litter of puppies which was premature, so he was the lone survivor of that litter. So instead of the puppy growing up alone, we decided to put him together with our baby lions, which we had at the time. They were all exactly the same age, 1 week old. So he grew up with lions, and up until now they're over a year old, he can still go in with the lions and they still recognize him and they play with each other and they don't hurt him.
What's the lifespan of lions?
It depends. In nature, they say a lion, normally the average lifespan is maybe around 7-8 years. In captivity, it can be up to 15 and beyond years, because in captivity life is less tough. In nature there's a lot of challenges for lions. Males fight each other, there's a lot of diseases, poaching, and other animals like hyenas competing with them. So life expectancy in nature is not very long.
Let's talk about feeding. How do you feed the lions?
Well, we feed them with meat. We give them different kinds of meat. We give them chicken, goat, and beef mostly. And on average, a fully grown lion will maybe eat somewhere towards 50 kilos per week. So it accumulates to a lot of meat. We currently use over a ton of meat every week.
Every week?
Every week over. It's about 1,200 kilos a week at the moment.
How often do they eat?
It depends. The young ones eat every day. Fully grown ones eat after every 2nd or 3rd day.
Okay, let me take you back to the CTC. Why the name CTC?
Okay, CTC is an abbreviation. It stands for Conservation Through Commercialization. And I believe that there should be a commercial aspect to it, because nobody works for free and nothing happens when it's for free. So we believe the community needs to be involved, which we have, a lot of community involvement, and they need to financially benefit from this project. That's why we also are on very good terms with the community. You will probably not find a single member of the community who has any complaint. So we believe it has to have a commercial aspect for the community and the people involved to benefit from it, and also to raise money which can be used for further conservation purposes.
Okay. How do you, I understand this is an artificial or man-made conservation center. How do you get these animals here?
It depends. There are different ways. Some are imported, like the lions are from South Africa. Others we can source locally, like we have chameleons, which are sourced locally. We have jackals, which are sourced locally. So we apply for species if we want to add them. We apply with Uganda Wildlife Authority. And depending on whether they're common in Uganda outside of the parks, if they are, then we can collect some as a breed stock outside of the parks. If they're very rare or only found in the parks, like for example the lions, then we have to bring them from outside.
Okay. Do you sell them?
We are allowed to, technically. We have several classes, wildlife use right classes. We have Class B, which is breeding. We have Class D, which is commercial trade. We have Class E, which is educational, like a zoo. So technically we're allowed to sell animals, but up until now we've not sold any lions or anything like that because we're not focusing on commercial trade in that sense. We do breed tortoises commercially and we export. We've exported several hundred tortoises in the past, which are born here for people to keep as pets in their gardens, things like that. But when it comes to bigger mammals, out of ethical reasons, I'm not really leaning towards commercial trade. Actually, that's the reason why we have so many lions, is because we chose not to sell any at this point. And same for our dogs. We have the same amount of dogs as lions. There are 26 dogs and 26 lions. And I don't like giving animals out necessarily. As long as we have space for them, we will keep them all here.
Let's look at taming. We've seen Arabs that domesticate lions. If there are Ugandans that would like to domesticate them, how would they go about it? What advice would you give them?
I would give them the advice not to. First of all, you see a lot of Arabs which have a lot of money and they buy a lion or import a lion and keep them in their garden as if it's a dog. That doesn't work. A lion is a wild animal. You cannot domesticate an animal that quick. Domestication is a process which takes many generations of breeding. So you cannot take a wild animal and make it domestic within its life. That's not possible. What you can do is they can get used to people. And you can also build up trust between you and an animal. And that's why you find all of our lions, they trust people. That's why they're not aggressive and also not scared, because we raised them, they grew up with us. But that's different from domestication. These lions are still technically as wild of a lion as any lion in nature, just that these lions learned that there's no threat from us because we raised them. Technically they see us as their parents, and that's why they're friendly. But they're not domesticated or trained or anything like that. All it is they trust us, they know that we're not going to hurt them, and for that reason they have no reason to hurt us either.
Okay. What's the relationship between lions and dogs?
Generally there's no relationship between lions and dogs. Here the dogs got used to the lions and lions got used to the dogs, so here they get along, and you will very rarely see a dog barking at the lions. But out in nature, there's technically no relation. Lions would probably eat dogs if they would have a chance to.
How are these animals different from the ones that are conserved outside or in the zoo or national parks?
Well, it depends. Technically, they're not different. These lions could learn how to hunt. They could survive in nature as well if they wanted, but they're used to people. So that's maybe the only thing which makes them different, that they're used to people. But they have all the power and instincts like any other lion anywhere else. Different from zoo animals, I would like to make it quite clear, we don't consider ourselves a zoo. We don't keep our animals like in a zoo. You will not find, or you'll find very few of our animals in actual cages, and that's a temporary situation. We're trying to fence off big areas for all of our animals to live as natural and wild as possible, just with the difference that they will be used to us and they're friendly to us because they know that we're not a threat to them. But other than that, we try to give our animals as wild as possible of a life, so that they do have all the freedom they would have in nature, just without the threats, without the diseases. So I personally, I'm against keeping animals in cages if the cages are not really matching their needs. I think animals should be kept in a captive environment if the space is there and they're cared for properly, for educational and awareness purposes, because it is a benefit. But I personally am against, like going back to the Arab situation, I'm against people keeping a lion in a little cage in their garden just out of prestige to show people I have a lion. I think that's completely the wrong approach. However, I do believe even here in Uganda, if somebody has a farm and he has enough space and he can fence 1 acre, I believe he should have a lion if he can care for it and has passion for it, and the law actually allows it. Technically, I believe any Ugandan is allowed to keep a lion if he has the space and the knowledge of how to keep it properly and can meet animal welfare needs for it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you too.
And well done.
Thank you.